I've never really been impressed with the aftermarket behind-the-wheel displays for the Tesla Model 3 and Y until now. I'm Frugal Tesla Guy, and I got my hands on what's being called the Tesla Model 3 and Y Mini Display. I've had my Tesla Model 3 since August of 2018 and very quickly embraced the simplistic design. Having all of the information, including the speed, on the center console screen was a fairly new concept and took a little getting used to the point where now I don't even really think about it. However, as more and more Tesla Model 3s and Ys were being sold, there were many people expressing interest in a display behind the wheel like that of the Model S and X, many asking why the Model 3 and Y don't have one. Now, the aftermarket world responded quickly, and even though there has been some movement of these products, none of them have really impressed me. They were either too big or looked out of place and blocked the airflow from the vents. And there were many other designs that were smaller and may have blocked less air, but the overall look and feel didn't even come close to this sleek design of the Tesla Model 3 and Y. Now, over the last year, I've been contacted by a few companies to review some of these displays, but for the reasons I just mentioned, I politely declined their offers. But when EVbase contacted me to review what is being called the mini display, it definitely piqued my interest. It has a low enough profile to keep it from blocking air from the vents, but big enough to give you the information you need at a quick glance. Now keep in mind, this is also shortly after I reviewed the Hyundai Ioniq 5, where I did get reintroduced to a screen behind the wheel. And quite honestly, I liked it and began to realize why many Model 3 and Y owners are purchasing these products. Now, the two main reasons I decided to review this product is because number one, it doesn't block the air vents, and number two, it has a simple design that, in my opinion, doesn't look out of place. In fact, my son, who is really picky about the overall appearance of the car inside, when I first got him in the car, number one, he didn't even notice it, and number two, when I did point it out to him, he actually thought it looked pretty good. So here's all the information you get from the display. Of course, the speedometer, the current speed limit of the street you're on, the status of your car, whether it's in park, reverse, neutral, or drive, left and right blinkers as well as the hazards, the status of your headlights and fog lights, the seatbelt indicator, and it lets you know when the car is in hold, the status of all four doors, the status of the frunk and trunk, the current time, the current outdoor temperature, the percentage of your battery as well as the estimated range, the set distance you have for the car in front of you for autopilot or traffic-aware cruise control, and depending on the user interface, which we'll get into a little later, you can also see your odometer and air pressure of all four tires. Now, to get into settings, push the right scroll wheel to the right and hold it there until the settings menu pops up. Now from here, you can control the cursor with the same wheel up and down and left and right. Now the exterior temperature can be displayed in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Now as of right now, the only time format that's being offered is Greenwich Mean Time, so you'll need to do a little math to match your time zone. And the only option is a 24-hour clock, so no AM or PM. Now, I was told that could be changed with a future software update, but I can't personally guarantee that. Now, there are three different themes. Auto, which will match the theme of your center console. Bright, which is typically used during the day. And dark, usually used for night driving. Now you can have the tire pressure displayed in PSI or bar. And I'm not exactly sure what CAN is, but I just leave it set to 1. And I was told that the units sent to the US typically don't even have this option. Now you can have the mileage set to miles or kilometers, and I of course leave the language set to English. Now, there are 2 different UIs. Now, you can check them both out and decide which one you like best. And the main difference that I've noticed is UI 1 shows your tire pressure and UI 2 shows your odometer. Now I mentioned software updates earlier, and that can be done thanks to the USB-C port on the right side of the unit. Now the speedometer seems to match up to a T. However, I did notice a slight discrepancy in battery percentage and estimated range. It seems as though the percentage and estimated miles are just slightly behind, and we're talking by just 1 percentage point and 1 mile, but eventually do catch up and at certain times do match up exactly. Now the same goes for PSI. I've noticed sometimes all 4 match up exactly, but sometimes 1 or 2 of the tires may be off by 1. For me, this is no big deal and by no stretch a deal breaker. But I don't want you to end up with surprises should you decide to purchase one of these based on this review. Now, one thing that is a bit of a bummer is the fact that you can't see what's on the screen when wearing polarized sunglasses. Now, I did put one of my leftover screen protectors over the display, and that seemed to do the trick. However, the problem is the protectors are virtually impossible to cut down to size. Now the other option is to get a pair of non-polarized sunglasses for the car. It's your choice. Now installation is not as simple as I'm sure most people would like. It requires taking a lot of things apart. And if you have an older Tesla like me with the Intel processor, then it's even more difficult because access to the computer is on the tight side and requires patience. However, if you have a newer Tesla with the AMD processor, then you don't need to access the computer directly, and the plugs are a lot easier to get to. Now, how do you know for sure which processor you have? Well, press the car icon, software, and then tap additional vehicle information. And in the jumbled mess of information, you will see which processor you have. In my case, it's Intel. Now, if what you're seeing on your screen looks like it's too much for you to handle, then you'll probably need to find someone who can do it for you. And by the way, I will be posting a detailed video on the installation process shortly after this video if you're interested. I'll post a link to it in the description below when it's available. So let's talk cost. Now at the time of this review, the price at EVbase for both the 3 and Y is $229. But with my discount code FRUGAL, you can get 10% off or sometimes even more depending if there are any sales going on at that time. Is this a frugal choice? Well, that's debatable. But frugal or not, if you're a Model 3 or Y owner and have missed the screen behind the wheel, then as far as I'm concerned, look no further. It fills the gap you've been looking for while maintaining the simplistic design of the car. So what do you think? Is this another one of those things that's just completely not necessary? And you know what? There are going to be a lot of you out there who feel that way. However, there are many other people out there who feel differently. And they really do honestly and truly miss having that display behind the wheel and would like to have some kind of option there. So I'd love to know what you think. How do you feel about this? How do you think it looks? I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. Well, that's going to do it for now. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and stay positively charged.